Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Artists of Color, your art and cultural show for the day. And I'm Elaine Hall-Corbin, your host. And this afternoon, I have a very special friend and my special guest, Pelaiah Auset. Not only is she an artist, but she is a fabulous vocalist. Pelaiah, thanks for joining me today. I am so glad I finally got you on the show.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. How you been?
Good. I know we've been trying to get our schedules together
you
for
know?
a little while now, but I made it. I'm here.
And I am glad you are here.
Yeah. Yes.
Pelaiah,
Yes.
let's start off by you telling my audience a little bit about you.
Yes, my name is Pelaiah Auset. I was actually born and raised here in Boston. I've lived in other cities, but I've always come back here for some reason or another. No, Boston is lovely. You know, it's brimming with so much talent and so many lovely people. So again, I was born and raised here. I'm a vocalist, a singer, songwriter, and I've been singing,
Yeah.
for a long time.
At least since I've known you.
Exactly. I think that's probably around how we met.
I think it is too.
I feel like I get my voice from my mother. My mother sings. I grew up singing in church, and I was in chorus in middle and high school, and it was just a passion of mine and something that I've always loved to do. And it's funny because there's a part of me that kind of feels not like it's an obligation, but sometimes I feel like if you have a talent, you should share it with the world. So I've had to learn over the years to be comfortable with my talent in order to be in that space where I can share it. And it's been a work in progress, but I feel like, as far as life and about our talents, as long as you're doing it and sharing it, you get better every day at it. And so I've seen my growth, and my comfort level rising. And so again, I have this talent, and I love doing what I do, and I love sharing my voice with the world. And in a positive light, too, because that's important. It's not just about...
It really is.
Sharing music. I've come to that, and I've always kind of known that. But it's important to share it in the right way, and to be influential. Like, there are a lot of influential people, but are you giving,
good influence? Are you giving positive influence?
Right. I think that's...
I agree with you.
Yeah. So that's the difference, and that's what I've incorporated into my music. Culture and history and the truth, and it's all my experience. Most of my lyrics, I write all my own songs.
Yep.
I do covers every now and again, but I use my lyrics are based on my personal experience as well as other people's experiences.
I know, because you're good at that.
Yeah,
you are great at that.
So
yeah, because you've got a couple out there that you do that I love. Don't ask me to remember.
No, it's okay.
But you do have a couple out there that I absolutely adore. I love them.
Elaine. Yeah.
How long have you been writing?
I started out writing. Initially, I grew up singing, but I didn't start performing. I more so started performing around my writing.
Oh.
I started doing poetry first. I think I wasn't comfortable initially. I wasn't comfortable early on singing. So
Okay.
I started out performing around my writing, around poetry and spoken word. So I'm a great writer, and I think my music has evolved around my writing. And it's funny because when I used to start writing songs, my songs were like long poems.
Yeah,
they were epic. They were just long, and then I had to learn to structure my writings and my poetry into song format.
Oh, but did you find that might have taken away from your poetry? Because see, me being a lover of your poetry and your singing, but I don't think you've ever done anything that was epic.
I mean, when I say epic, I mean just like long.
Yeah, I know.
Epic in that way. It's just like, sometimes my song, I had to learn how to structure my songs. Because the poem can be long.
It can.
It can be pages and pages. And when I first started writing songs, they were pages long.
Wow.
Then I had to learn again to structure it into song structure. Chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, bridge, verse. And I don't always stay within those confines because I don't think like that.
No, you don't.
Within the lines and within the box. So there are times when I structure my songs, and there are times when I just go with the flow of it and just, it is what it is. But also, too, as you know, there are times when I incorporate both. I'll do poetry and music.
You've done that,
in
yeah.
one piece.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have one way that I do it. It just, however it comes out,
Is the way you
is the way that
it's
it is.
Do you have now, because of your poetry and your vocal, do you have formal training in either
You
of
know,
those
that's
mediums?
a good question, and a lot of people don't ask me that question. I get it every now and again, but I don't have any formal training.
You don't?
I don't. I am just a lover of music,
And
I have
lover
this
of
gift,
spoken
and I have
word.
this talent that I feel like was passed on through my mother.
Wow.
And I just honed in on it, and I perfected my talent just over the years. I have a good ear, you know, and I think growing up, I would listen to everybody. And you know, Aretha Franklin, Roberta Flack. A lot of them were my favorites. Nina Simone.
Yep.
You know, even later on, Anita Baker and certain people like that. So when I was younger, I would listen to music and I would copy it. I would copy how they sang it, and then later on, I learned how to create. Well, not create, but to hone in on my own voice. But initially, I would copy their sound first and how they sang it. And then from there, I learned how to find my own voice.
Your own voice.
Yeah.
It's funny because today's segment of voice of artists of color is actually Voices of Sisterhood, which is why I did it that way, because I was having you, and then Donna's coming, and it was like, this was perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
And then for you to talk about, you know, the sisters that you've learned from, you've honed from. And that's really important.
It is. And you know, if any artist, and this goes for any genre of art, I feel, but for right now, I'll specifically talk about music. We all, as far as musicians, there's nothing new under the sun. We know that. And we all
not at all
gain again, I formed my voice around listening to other people that I grew up hearing in my household. So we're all influenced by other people. You know, maybe Pharrell, for example, might have been influenced by James Brown, Little Richard, like certain people like that. You can hear certain things within their music and within how they, you know, sing their song. So we're influenced by everyone who's come before us. Even some of the newer people like Jill Scott, you know, and Erykah Badu. They were pinnacle too because they paved the way for the neo-soul, in quote, you know, movement of music. But again, they were preceded by, you know, the Nina Simones, the Roberta Flacks, you know, all these great, you know, Stevie Wonder. And it's not just women, you know, that influenced me. I love Stevie Wonder. I love
me
blues.
Too.
You know, Bobby Blue Bland. You know, I love all genres of music too, you know.
Yeah, well, see, I know you do.
Diana Ross. You know, I just watched The Wiz again last night, and
it was on last night?
No, I have it.
And you decided to watch it.
Actually, I had some children over, and I was like, let's watch The Wiz, you know, because I love the soundtrack. I think it's just
I do too.
It's a great soundtrack.
I like it. I love it.
So, you know, I pull off everything, you know.
Do you, when you write, like whether you're writing poetry or you're writing a song, a selection, how do you find your voice? In other words, do you have to be in a soft, quiet,
No,
I don't have to be. It just comes to you and you
every artist is different. And every experience with me, not every time it's different, but you know, it can be anything that can inspire me. This show can inspire me, you know, and tonight I'll write a song about, you know, community works and doing, you know, so there isn't one particular way that I go about writing a song. I do, you know, sit down, you have to sit down, you know, hone in,
right?
You know, get in that kind of quiet mode. You know, I'm a pen and paper person.
Yeah.
Some people type, I don't type.
Too. No, I gotta write.
I have to have that flow. I like the flow of the pen and the paper. That helps me also too to get my thoughts out.
Good.
So like I have paper everywhere. Like my bed is full of paper and notebooks and pens and things. So that's my that's how I go about it. I'll just kind of hone in and, you know, go into my my mode, with my pen and my pad, and usually I have something already thought of. I don't just say, I'm like, I'm just going to write a song today, and just,
but you've already got that thought.
I don't do it like that.
Your head.
There's usually a thought in my head. Something has inspired me, or someone, or I heard some music. Sometimes, when I work with different producers or musicians, they'll play music, and I'll come up with an idea right then and there, and I can just write it in my head and then write it down later, or we'll freestyle it out and create it like that.
Absolutely.
So there's different ways of doing it. It just depends on where I'm at and what the tone is. It just depends.
What do you? I'm going to ask a question because I just thought about it. You teach.
I do.
I know you do.
I was thrust into teaching, and so when it's funny when you said that because you kind of know I kind of
you knew where I was going.
But I do teach, and I had to realize, again, like my music, I wasn't formally taught. I have a lot of friends. One of my best girlfriends, went to Berkeley. I have a lot of great artist friends who've gone to great schools. Berkeley is one of them. So again, I haven't been, taught in that way, and my teaching is the same way. But I feel like we're all teachers. That's how I feel about it personally. We all have something to teach. We all have something that we're good at and that we can share with the world. And so my teaching came like that. I was good at certain things, and it was kind of I thrust myself into it.
There you go.
It wasn't really thrust at me. I was like,
jumped into it.
I love.
See, you jumped into it.
Children. I work around children. I love children.
Yes, you do.
And they need us. And so
if they don't have us and people like you.
Yes, I'm like, I'm here. What do you need? So I kind of just jumped in like, yes, And so I've been teaching now for about 5 or 6 years now. No. And so now I actually call myself a teacher. Before I used to be like, I was a little coy about it and not very, firm about it. But now I'm like, yes, I am.
Because
I've been doing it for a while now, and I just, I had to hone in on that and just, yeah.
Do you have is there something that you specifically teach, or do you just teach what you feel?
I teach what I feel overall, but mainly what I'm good at. Even though I'm good at music, I don't traditionally teach music, actually.
I didn't.
People have tried to get me to do that.
Really?
And maybe I will at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there just yet.
Okay.
People do come to me and ask me to teach them how to sing or how to write or to work on their voice with them. And I can do that in certain settings, like in a non-traditional setting.
Yeah, definitely non-traditional.
But as far as me in teaching the youth, math and science and reading and writing and history. That's kind of a lot, not really a lot, but enough. But
But you do it.
I do it.
And you do it because, to me, I think the reason you do it is because it all corresponds. It's all intertwines, and it is connected in some manner, shape, or form.
Yeah. And I feel like if we've learned this, we've all been to school. We've all learned to some capacity. So once we learn, then we can, in turn, share it with others. And, I teach, grade school, anywhere from, 1st to 6th, 7th grade, So I can deal with that aspect of it. I know my history. I'm good at math.
Of course you are.
I'm good at writing. And
Definitely good at
teaching
that.
the children how to read and things like that. I love those things. Yeah.
Do you find that your children are very
Oh yeah, we'll have them on. We'll have them on one of the next shows.
We have to do that.
Good. There's a couple of them.
I would love to do that.
They're super bright,
Oh, see.
They love to learn. You have to want to learn.
Yeah, you have to have that feeling.
Yeah.
They're like sponges.
They are at that age. The early.
Like sponges.
Early on.
And to me, we as women, and especially women of color, and women like you, who have all that talent.
Yeah.
They need to be. They need to be around somebody that they can soak it up from.
That is important. I've noticed that over time, and just with my own experiences growing up and having certain teachers. We all had teachers growing up who were great teachers. Some that really made an impression on us.
Yeah.
And then we had other teachers that were just like, not too sure how I feel about you. But I've noticed that it is very important. I connect with the children. I'm right there with them. And I learn just as much as they do. That's the beauty, I think, in teaching and in learning, that you learn with them. You know, I've always told them, like, I'm very honest, too. I don't know everything, because some children think that adults know everything, or that parents know everything.
Really?
No, I don't. I'll tell you that.
They don't. We
quickly.
don't.
I don't know everything. I'm learning with you. And you know, they see the love. That's not hard.
Of course
Just not hard to hide or
no,
to
it's
show.
not.
So I think,
not from you anyway.
Yeah,
really, it's not.
You know, they see that and they feel that, and I give that genuinely.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, so
It comes
it's
through in
all
everything.
through the love.
And it comes through everything you do. Your music, your poetry.
Yeah.
I find that listening to you, that I can really feel.
Good. Yeah, that's how it's.
What's coming from you.
Yeah, and I do. I do put that in my music. Not to say like I'm so serious about my music. I'm serious about it. I'm not like a serious person. I can be when I want to be. But yeah, I definitely put that love into it. That's important. And a lot of people do tell me that. They're like, oh my, I feel that. I can hear that. You know?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
All the time.
And then the second comment is like, they comment on my size. It's like, you're so small.
Yeah,
but your voice
just
is huge. You know, you're just little with this huge voice. I get that all the time. They're like,
that's
oh my
beautiful. You're surprised. You know, it's people like you mentioned, the different, you know, the different musicians that you know, that you learn from and hear from.
Right.
Like you just mentioned Anita Baker.
Yeah.
Little thing.
Yeah.
And that girl's got a very
she's
huge, very strong voice.
Yeah.
And she happens to be one of my favorites. I love her.
What? I used to love Anita Baker.
Oh my, I love Anita Baker.
You know, so you have your favorites as singers. You have your favorites, and you know, you sing their songs. You get that down. And
I'm a Nancy Wilson fan. I was raised on her.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Absolutely beautiful.
There's so many great musicians from that time. When I listen to certain music, I was thinking about that the other day. Just the certain eras, like the 60s had a certain tone.
It did, didn't it?
You know, the 70s had a certain tone. And then the 80s, if you really listen to the music at certain times, there's a tone with it.
With it.
Yeah.
And it changes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed, but have you noticed like the